Hello, it's another edition of our Word Exposition, and I welcome you to this hour as we are discussing from Exodus chapter 4, from verse 2 to 4. It says, And the Lord said unto Moses, What is in thy hand? And he said, A rod. And he said, Cast it on the ground. And he cast it on the ground, and it became a serpent, and Moses fled from it. And the Lord said unto Moses, Put forth thy hands and take it by the tail. And he put forth his hands and caught it, and it became a rod in his hands. It became a rod in his hand. God appeared before Moses in the bush, and God asked him, What do you have here? He says, A rod. He said, Hand it over to me. Throw it to the ground, that automatically hand it over to me. And as I handed it over to God, it became a living object. It became a serpent. Because whatever is dead in your hand, if you can hand it over to God, life will surge back into it. And God said to him, Hold it by the tail. And Moses took it by the tail, and it turned to a rod in his hand. Meanwhile, God was holding the head. And that's why it was no longer called the rod of Moses, it was now the rod of God, because power and grace has entered into it. God, by Moses, as the leaders of Israel, bring forth your rod into the sanctuary. They did. And over the night, the rod of Aaron brought forth leaf and brought forth fruit. Overnight, dry wood, dry rod became a fruit-bearing object. So whatever is dead in your life, if you can hand it over to God, life will surge back into it. That business, your career, or your endeavors, your family life, hand them over to God and allow God to give life to whatever is dead in your life. Every dead experience, dead testimonies, dead circumstance around you. Let God take charge. Hand it over to God, and you see life, you will see grace, you see the power of God move over it, and something different will happen. I'm expecting a change of story in your life as you hand that situation over to God, as you hand over that business, that your career, that your endeavor, that your admission over to God. You will see life. Even though it was looking disappointing, God is going to work it out for you, and your story will change because the power of God is going to come upon it. God will hold the head, you will hold the tail, but the power of God will be moving from God to the tail that you are holding. In your hands, it may still look dry as at before, but the head, the one that is in control from thence, is God, because He's still holding the head. Hand over your finances to God. Hand over your family life to God. Hand over that business to God. God will be in charge holding the head while you hold the tail. And something different will begin to happen around you, to the glory of the Father. And see your testimony comfort. Remember blessed. Hallelujah.